Is it okay to hold your child diagnosed with autism accountable for the things that they do? Generally speaking, absolutely. And I wish that I had done this with my kids more when they were little, because I parented their diagnosis more than I parented them as kids.
Hey special family, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi, I'm Autism Mom, and on this channel we talk about autism and everything in between. Let's go to this fair use reaction video and see what we're dealing with today.
This is a really good question, and I get it all the time. Is it okay to hold your child diagnosed with autism accountable for the things that they do? Generally speaking, absolutely. And I wish that I had done this with my kids more when they were little, because I parented their diagnosis more than I parented them as kids. But at the end of the day, autistic kids are still kids, and they make dumb decisions, and they do things that they shouldn't do, and they make mistakes. And that's okay, because that's what all kids do. And holding them accountable is part of that learning process. It's how we learn to navigate situations. It's how we learn from our mistakes and move forward. However, there's a lot of nuance to this, because every kid is different. And when you're dealing with neurodivergent kids, you need to be careful that you don't discipline or punish things that are outside of their control. We don't discipline or punish or try to remove stemming. We don't discipline meltdowns. We don't discipline anxiety or sensory overload. We can help them find better ways of managing those things and coping skills and life skills that will allow them to better process things so that they can do it in a more constructive manner, because it's better for them ultimately. But is it okay to hold our kids accountable for hitting or kicking or taking something that wasn't theirs or being rude to someone or whatever? Of course it is. Of course it is. They're still kids, and that's how we learn. Hope that helped.
That was an awesome video. He clearly made a distinction for the things that we, especially parents, need to hold our kids accountable for, and things that we can't. Because let's say your child have a meltdown. You can't hold your child accountable for a meltdown. But if your child has a meltdown and runs down the street and start hitting kids, oh yeah, we're going to hold you accountable. But it's not for your meltdown. It's for you hitting the kids. Because you're not their parent. That's one. Two, you shouldn't be hitting anybody. So I think what he's trying to say, stop babying the diagnosis or baby the disability, and be a parent to the child like you would another kid. But then the things that your child can't help, you can't hold them accountable for that. But don't baby the diagnosis. Parent the child. Let's go to the comment section and see what the commenters had to say. First commenter says, I struggle hard with this. When he's having a meltdown and kicking and screaming and cannot calm down with his teachers, it is such a challenge to know how to hold him accountable after school or at home. It's also a challenge after, when he's having those meltdowns, they pick him up to carry him, which makes it worse and escalates further his tantrum. Then I don't know how to manage his emotions when the adult in the situation did not de-escalate the situation, but sadly made it worse, which happens every day. So my son has meltdowns, and what I do, because the meltdowns are at home and in school, and what I do is I had the ABA therapist connect with the teacher. I got them in touch with each other. And then both the ABA therapists would then give the teachers strategies on how to deal with them in case of this or that. So they'll be on one page with the same techniques, they implement the same techniques in case of a meltdown or certain things that he does. So that has been very helpful in my case, to have both the school and the ABA company on one line, so they implement the same techniques, so that he doesn't get confused with different treatments from different household or different locations, if that makes sense. Next commenter says, I want my 7-year-old PDA to stop swearing more than anything. He doesn't care who I'm speaking to, who's around. If I don't give him my attention at that very second, he starts. He doesn't care about sanctions in any form. The autism dad responded, my oldest is similar with his lack of filter, especially when he's around family. I have different rules for him as a result. I haven't found a fixed one yet. Okay, so that can also be something that you don't immediately find a way to deal with certain things, but with the help of ABA therapy, I see that they come up with a lot of options and strategies that I can pick and choose from to implement. So I don't know, maybe you can ask your therapist if she can come up with some strategies to help so they can get in touch with the school and get that done. Next commenter, like this, but be careful with rude. Autistic folks' communication style can come off as rude to neurotypicals. And the dad responded, agreed, but everyone is capable of being rude from time to time. So yes, their straightforwardness and their honesty can come off as rude when they're just being their plain old self. So the distinction have to be made. Next commenter said, needed to hear this. Guilty of parenting the diagnosis. It's hard when you don't know what to do and there's no one to help. That's why their therapy is in place. And they also have groups at autism centers where you can sign up and get into groups with other autism parents for resources. Next commenter says, I parent them more as their diagnosis than I did as a kid. Huge accountability statement right there. Me too, which caused more confusion when I went on the journey to change the family and community dynamics. Then there's all these views of what discipline and accountability is in first place. In my story, I was raised in what I call a chaotic emotional-ish show. LOL. I discovered to help my son the most, I had to role model accountability and discipline first or be a hypocrite. I strive to break every single family chain. I heard someone say once, autism either breaks you or grows you. Both are hard, but only one is rewarding. That is... Wait. We gotta say that again. Autism either breaks you or grows you. Damn. I've been through both. I've been broken and I've grown. Damn, that's deep. Woo. Next commenter says, my son's kicking in aggressive behavior only happens during anxiety and sensory overload. Someone responded, my daughter is only violent when she has a meltdown. I don't punish the meltdown, but she will have consequences for the violent behavior that's within that meltdown. Boom. They have to learn any form of violence, hitting, kicking, biting, scratching, etc. is wrong, whether in a meltdown state or not. My 20-year-old had the same problem but learned it wouldn't be tolerated and found other ways to let out in a meltdown. They have to learn it's not okay. I like this dad. Next commenter says, thank you so much for this. One of my kiddos struggling with being really rough on things. And I once went to support group and asked them how I could use a bad experience, huge hole in the wall. Some moms were angry at me for suggesting that I even teach him or discipline him at all about it. And I'm like, look, I'm not punishing him. I'm teaching him a constructive lesson that there are better ways to channel all that extra energy. And you don't destroy the house in the process. And he is capable of knowing and doing better. Some kids don't, I get that. But we have to offer our kids the opportunity to learn with love, structure, and support. What's wrong with that? Nothing. There's totally nothing with that. Because if you let that go, he'll keep doing it. And I'm speaking from experience. So there's nothing wrong with that. Next commenter, this is so good. Parenting the diagnosis instead of the kid. That's a powerful phrase. That just freed a lot of parents. Yes, he spoke to many. Next commenter, I give my grace, but I am also very hard on him. And it's because of his AS to how successful my son is. Not everyone will agree with my parenting style, but my son knows he is wonderful and loved. He also knows mommy expects nothing but the best for him. What I don't do is compare him to any other child. He is his own. Now that's awesome. That's amazing. Don't compare. Let him be him. Next commenter, I parented their diagnosis more than I parented them. What a word. I did the same and now I'm struggling, but making it through every day. It's never too late. Next commenter, self-awareness is just as important as accountability. Accountability without self-awareness, particularly with neurodivergent folks, will lead to burnout and construction of a personality which is not intuitively formed, masking. It's important that people unravel which social norms are more fundamental to empathy and social cohesion, and which are arbitrary and oversimplified. Okay. Accountability without self-awareness will lead to burnout. I don't feel that way. I feel like if we give them accountability and teach them until they get the self-awareness, they will eventually get why they're being held accountable. Next commenter, I'm struggling with this right now. I used to be the he has autism to everything for my 2-year-old, almost 3. He hits my 9-year-old all the time, and my 9-year-old is so patient and sweet with him. But the other day he got upset and said, Mom, if a dog can learn not to bite, then Jameson can understand not to hit me in the face. And it really broke my heart. Oh my God. Oh my God. Because I don't know what I should and shouldn't do yet. It's all new to me still, and I don't want my other son growing up resenting my younger son with autism and it being my fault. Yeah, if you don't bend the tree while it's young, that's exactly what you'll have on your hand. And your son or daughter made an amazing point. If a dog can learn how not to bite people, and I'm not comparing your child to a dog, but I'm saying anybody can learn something, autism or not. It might take someone with autism longer, but it can learn. If you would like to follow this is his TikTok page and handle. Go ahead and give him a follow. But let me know in the comment section if you were also a parent who was parenting the diagnosis and not the child. Catch you in the next one. Bye.